Hello, Thornton Darts here, again. Back with another video on designing darts. I just want to say thanks to everyone for the comments on the last video. I got some really good feedback and people seem to like what I was doing, so I'm going to carry on something similar. I'll try and mix it up every week or do something slightly different. So this week I'm basically going to do players darts only. So if you can see on the left hand side here, we've got 12 players darts. Well, I don't have them there. 12 players darts. So, well, some are endorsed darts. For example, Gary Anderson doesn't use these darts, but they're endorsed. But it's some names we're familiar with. And another reason I picked players darts is because I can merge some names. So, for example, I could have Wayne B. Chizzy. You know, Wayne B. Chizzy darts. I've mixed 3 names up there. Or, you know, Phil Anderton. Yeah. It's just something silly I thought would be quite amusing, but it could just be me. So, yeah, let's get started. So, random number generator, 1 to 12. I'm going to refresh it when I get on the page. So, number 3, refresh. We've got Scott Kirchner, the Panda King. Okay. Quite a different style there. I think we can work with that. It's actually quite interesting. Maybe I won't use the K. I'll probably put a different letter in. Maybe I'll put Z or a T or both. Yeah, quite interesting. It's something a bit different. Some sort of drill parts. I've not actually worked with some drills yet, so I'll give that one a go. It's quite an interesting first front. We'll duplicate that. We'll go back to players darts and we'll do the same again. So for the middle of the dart, number 4, and we're going to refresh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. So data dart, Paul Jennings. Geno. Okay, so we've got the zoom is loading. You know why, but it seems to be sort of a Lewis Gen 2 type grip. It's quite a popular grip. I've actually modelled a lot of people's designs with the Gen 2 grip. It's very popular. So yeah, that's quite a nice centre. And we're going to go for the rear now. I just did that wrong, didn't I? Duplicate. Pro players. Also, I'm in Street Fighter pyjamas and this is a fluffy blanket. I'm very comfortable. Get over it. Oh, this is a good page. I'm going to have to refresh it though. Number generate for the rear. Number 1. Okay. And then refresh. Oh, interesting. Now, pixel grip. Now, I have to be careful here. I don't know whether Target have this patented, so I don't think these can be made, but I can definitely model them. I'm going to model them anyway to see what they look like. But I know that some manufacturers refuse to make it because I think Target might have them patented. But we'll model them anyway. It's just if you're interested in this design, maybe it's not as doable. But I'm going to make it anyway because it's a very good dart. So let's start making our darts. We've got Scott Kirchner, we've got Paul Jennings, and we've got Adrian Lewis. So I'm going to merge the names afterwards, but I think I've got a good one anyway. Alright, let's get modelling the front. The dimensions I'm going to use aren't these ones because they're 0 and 0. I'm going to go with the Adrian Lewis. It's a bit thicker. 52mm, 6.75. Yeah, I'm not quite. I think the nose is probably a little bit longer. Yeah, it's a bit more like it. I did a shorter length for that bit to start with. So yeah, the next bit seems to be the sort of two small slots, and then like either triangular or circular cut going in, and then another small slot in the middle of that. So I'm probably going to do that first and then put the holes in. So I'll do these grooves first. Okay, so I've put those grooves in, but I think they're a bit wide at the moment, as in this gap here. It looks smaller on the photo, so I'm going to just quickly reduce that. It's good to just put things in sometimes and then look back at your or if you know the measurements, that's even better. Yeah, so I think that's a lot better. So what I'm going to do now is put in a bit of a cut now to get that dip, and then after that I'll add in the cut. Right, so as you can see now we've got that little bit of a scallop, let's say, and I'm now going to put in this centre slot, and then hopefully we can start drilling those holes. Okay, so now as you can see we've got that sort of groove. I think it's smaller. I'm actually going to reduce it. Yeah, so that looks a lot more like what we have in the photo on the left. So yeah, I'm going to work with that, and it seems like I can't tell how many there are going round, but if there's 4, well 3.5 on the other, I'm going to say 6 or 7 or 8 probably circles going round. So I think I know I'm going to do this. So I've got something very similar-ish. It does take a bit of tweaking. I've got a bit more of a circle, but I think due to us changing the dimensions of the barrel and stuff, it makes it slightly different, and the cut I've done here might not be exactly the same, so I think I'd need to tweak that a lot more to get it spot on, but for the sake of this we'll just keep it going. It's still similar, so we'll move on to the next part, which is sort of a blank and then a little bit of an engraved barrel. So I'm going to put some letters on there. So now as you can see we've got a little bit of TD, Thornton darts obviously. Now I've got to go back to this and get it all the way around, so I'll just get that done a couple of times. Yeah, front of the Kirchner style barrel. I really like that actually. You may see that again. So let's move on to, I'll just show the engraving while it's there. So there is the Thornton darts version of the Scott Kirchner front barrel. I'll actually ring grip it off. You can see there's another cut there. So I'm just going to do that very quickly. Okay, so now I've got my first sort of groove in there. I think it's more, I've just used sort of a circular cut, but I think on Geno's darts they're slightly more arced, so I'm going to change that. Okay, so I've changed that a bit. It doesn't look too much different, but it is. It's less deep and it's more of a controlled curve than it is just a set circle. So yeah, now what we need to do is then get the gaps between the rest of the grip. So I'm going to do that a few down, maybe to here. I've got a few in there. I would actually like to. I'd actually like to reduce that gap. I think it's slightly smaller on there. So, like I said to you before. Some of this is trial and error. You do something and then you notice it might be slightly different, or if I had the dart I'd measure it. You could just tweak it until it looks right. So yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah, it's quite a cool looking dart to be fair. I'm going to leave room for the pixel at the back. So right, this is a good one. Now, as you can see, they're quite wide rings, so that's where I'm going to start. You've got the circles sort of in between each ring, and then it's sort of cut inwards. Yeah. I'm going to give that a go. Okay, so that's my representation of the gap between each ring now. So now I'm going to just make the rest. Right, so yeah, I've left that gap now. So what I need to do is then do the pixel style part. Now, essentially what it is milled inwards. So imagine drilling into it and then coming along, but with sort of a ball nose, so then it makes it a little bit of a slot. And that's what I'm going to try and replicate. It's quite tricky, so things like this can take a while. So yeah, as you can see, I've got something similar on the right. I think maybe if I don't do it perfectly right, maybe it will save me getting in trouble. Sorry, target. So what I'm going to do is repeat this around this section, and then I'm going to do the same for the other rings. So as you can see now, we've got a bit more of a pixel style grip. Actually, I quite like that. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but again, like I say, it's a slightly different method of doing it. Don't sue me, target, please. So yeah, I'm going to repeat this along these four now. Actually, I'm going to repeat it on them, and then I'm going to put this sort of smaller grip at the rear. Obviously there is two grips at the rear of the Lewis, so yeah. Okay, so now as you can see, we've got this pixel style grip now at the rear. I really like it. I've actually got a set of these myself, although I've got them lighter than I would have preferred, thinking about it now. I've got them in 21 grams. I don't really throw them, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I think maybe the gap between the end of the ring and the thing can be moved back a bit, so I might just do that quick because I'm fussy. Yeah, so as you can see now, I've reduced the gap between this point and this point, just to make it slightly closer to that. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I'd have probably, to make it wider, I'd have done it a different way, but I quite like it like this actually. Okay, so now we've got that grip at the rear. Yeah, this rear section looks very nice. I like this part here. It's sort of like Lewis Gen 2 into Pixel, and then the small grip at the back. Don't know how useful that'll be. I know there's a lot of people that grip right at the rear, sort of Steve Beaton style. Yeah, it's quite a good looking dart. I'll probably colour it up a little bit, maybe black. I know this Kirchner darts are silver with the black, but I might invert it and have the whole dart as black and then some silver cuts. So let's do that. I'm going to full screen it. I mean, I quite like that actually. I think it's better than the last monstrosity we made. I put the pixel, the not pixel, grips in silver. It's quite a cool effect, I think. So what they would do probably is coat it and then cut it to get the silver of the original barrel. Same with these, they probably do the cuts and then drill. Do the coat and then drill and emboss. Well, engrave, but yeah. Dart, Scott Kirchner front, Paul Jennings middle, and Adrian Lewis pixel rear. Now we were going to think of a name for it, so the Scott Kirchner pixel. That's what we're going with. Scott Kirchner pixel. That's what I'm going to name it. Now, if you guys want to see certain darts or anything, just put in the comments below. Maybe we'll pick 3 random from the comments next time and see what we come up with that way. Maybe the most liked comments can get that dart featured in the video. But yeah, thanks for coming again, and I will see you next time.